Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. I got another Master Duel video for you, coming at you with a combo guide for Magnet Warrior. So I definitely would not sleep on this archetype in Master Duel, by the way. Not only is this deck capable of spinning out a very solid board in the pure version, which I'm about to show you here, but it can also very easily summon multiple level 7 and level 4 bodies. And especially in Master Duel, a format where cards like Moon of the Closed Heaven and King of the Fair Limps, among other things, are still legal, you're going to have a ton of different options for what you can set up here and all the different variants you can play. Between Mitsurugi, you can go for Banshee and Surge Poplar for a Snake Eye variant, and that's just scratching the surface. But like I said, I'm going to show you some basic combo lines that set up a more pure board. So starting with Conduction Warrior Linear Magnum plus minus. If you open with this card, you can special summon by sending Magnet Warrior Sigma Plus, as well as Beta the Electromagnetic Warrior from your deck to the graveyard. It will summon that right over here, and now we can activate the Sigma Plus effect from our graveyard. That'll allow us to target the Beta, and we want to special summon, yes, we're going to summon it to the field right over here. And now Beta gets to activate, adding any level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior from deck to hand. Here, we're actually going to end up grabbing the Magnet Warrior Sigma Minus. Now, I already opened a copy of that, so I'll just grab something else, but note that you would search here Magnet Warrior Sigma Minus off of the Beta at this point. Now we can activate the Sigma Minus effect, revealing it from our hand to fusion summon Conduction Warrior Plasma Magnum, and we can use the Sigma Minus as well as the Beta on field as materials. Alright, there is the Plasma Magnum. We can activate the on-summon effect. That's going to add any Magnet normal or quick play spell from deck to hand. We're going to grab a copy of Magnet Bonding. As always, assume we just opened a bunch of hand traps in addition to our one-card starter of plus minus. Okay, now we're going to activate the Magnet Bonding here, and we can add from our deck to our hand. This time we're going to get Epsilon the Magnet Warrior. We're next going to activate the effect of our Plasma Magnum. This can send the Telusian, the Magnet Warrior, from our deck to the graveyard, and immediately allows us to normal summon a Magnet Warrior from hand. We're going to normal summon that Epsilon we just added, and now we can use the effect, and we'll send the Magnet Warrior Omega Plus from our deck to the graveyard, and that will allow us to special summon a Magnet Warrior from our graveyard. We're going to revive the Sigma Minus. Now, as I mentioned before, this line establishes multiple level 4 and level 7 bodies, so if you want to make a rank 7 or rank 4 or pivot into any number of engines, you could do that from here. However, like I said, we're going to continue with the pure combo line from here. Let's go ahead and let's get Gallant Granite online. And then once we have Gallant Granite in play, we can activate and add a rock monster from deck to hand. Detaching one of our materials, let's go ahead and grab the Kwakimiru Supplier. Okay, now from our graveyard, we can activate the effect of Omega Plus, and we can pop the plus minus that's on our field in order to revive. Now that'll activate the effect of plus minus in order to add itself. You could activate Supplier here, however, we're not going to for a specific reason you will see in just a moment. Alright, plus minus is back in our hand. Now we're going to link summon Cross Sheep using Gallant Granite and Omega Plus as materials. And you want to specifically summon it to a zone that your Plasma Magnum that is pointing to, right? So you want to put Plasma Magnum on either of the ends or in the middle. That way Cross Sheep can point to it. Alright, now we want to activate the effect of the Kwakimiru Supplier. And we want to special summon it to the other zone that our Cross Sheep is pointing to. This let us activate both effects. We could even go Chainlink 1 Supplier, Chainlink 2 Cross Sheep, or the other way around if you're more worried about Ghost Spell. To be fair, it's not really worth chain blocking against Ash Boss, and they probably would have used it already. But now we can revive with the Cross Sheep, one of our monsters. And then Supplier can add Kwakimiru Guardian from our deck to our hand. Alright, now let's see here. We're going to special summon the Telusian back from our graveyard. We can banish the Sigma Plus as well as the Sigma Minus that are in our graveyard. On top of that, we're going to want to make an IP Masquerena using Supplier plus Epsilon. And we even still have our normal summon, because remember, our normal summon before was through the effect of Plasma Magnum, meaning that Quackimiro Guardian that we added can be normal summoned. And not only that, but you already have the ability to reveal a rock monster for Quackimiro Guardian because we added the Plasma, or the Linear Magnum plus minus from our deck to our hand. So this is what our end board looks like. We have IP Masquerena that's capable of linking off with something like Cross Sheep to go into Little Knight among, other targets like Gorgon as well. But it's actually kind of worth keeping the Cross Sheep around because it's still pointing to our Plasma Magnum. And if you were to, for example, use Quackimiro Guardian first, negate and destroy one of their monster effects, then activate IP Masquerena with another one of your monsters like Telusian, then you could summon a Cross Sheep's other zone, and then revive the Quackimiro Guardian to negate and destroy another monster effect. Just something to consider. Or, as mentioned, you could just go IP plus Cross Sheep into the SP Little Knight as well. But the Plasma Magnum does more than just act as a fusion monster for Cross Sheep. While it's on the field, all face-up monsters on the field become Earth, which against some decks which need you to use monsters of a specific attribute as material for summons, could act as a potential floodgate. But even in decks where that's not the case, it still combos very well with Telusian. See, Telusian, when the opponent activates a monster or any card or effect, you could target a monster the opponent controls and destroy it. Or if it's an Earth monster, you could take control of it instead. And again, the Plasma Magnum will make all of your opponent's monsters Earth. So really, good sequencing here would be Telusian, take control, Quackimiro Guardian, negate and destroy, IP plus the controlled monster into SP in the zone Cross Sheep points to. That'll revive Quackimiro Guardian and give you another monster negate plus destroy. So again, that's what your example end board could look like off of the plus minus off of, or in the pure build rather. But let's go and look at some other combo lines here as well. Okay, so the reason that we play 3, or at least that I play 3 Beta the Electromagnet Warrior is because this is actually a 1-card starter for your combo line as well. We're going to begin by normal summoning Electromagnet Beta, and then we can use the effect in order to add Magnet Warrior Sigma Minus from our deck to our hand. We're going to activate the effect of Sigma Minus, revealing it in order to fusion summon Plasma Magnum using the Sigma Minus as well as the Electromagnetic Beta on our field as materials. As always, just pretend like we opened all hand traps and don't have this other Beta or Duoterion in our hand. Alright, Plasma Magnum is going to activate. We're going to add the Magnet Bonding from our deck to our hand. Okay, now we can activate the effect of Magnet Bonding. We're going to add Conduction Warrior Linear Magnum plus minus from our deck to our hand. We can activate the effect, or rather it doesn't activate, one of the great things about it. We can simply special summon plus minus from our hand. We're going to send Sigma plus as well as Epsilon the Magnet Warrior from our deck to our hand. Or from our deck to the graveyard, rather, sorry. Alright, now the Sigma plus effect gets to activate. And we're going to want to revive Epsilon the Magnet Warrior that we just sent. Okay, now Epsilon gets to activate, and we're going to want to send the Omega Plus from our deck to the graveyard in order to special summon specifically the Sigma Minus. The reason we want to summon Sigma Minus specifically is because the on-summon effect will let us send Telusian the Magna Warrior from our deck to the graveyard. Okay, now from here, we can overlay into Gallant Granite using our 2 level 4s. We can activate the effect of Gallant Granite, and we can detach one of our materials in order to add the Quackimiro Supplier from deck to hand. We can also activate the effect of Omega Plus in our graveyard. That'll pop the Telusian on our field in order to special summon. Now we can activate Telusian's effect to add back. I wouldn't activate Supplier just yet, for a reason you're about to see in a moment. Okay. We can also special summon the Telusian from our graveyard by banishing Sigma Plus and Sigma Minus. Alright, we're definitely going to link into Cross Sheep using Gallant Granite plus Omega Plus. Gonna put that into a zone so that it points to the Plasma Magnum. Now we can special summon the Quackimiro Supplier. Right over here. And now we can activate both effects of Cross Sheep as well as Supplier. Supplier is going to add from our deck to our hand the Quackymere Guardian. And then Cross Sheep is going to revive one of our Magnet Warriors from the graveyard. Now we can link summon the IP Masquerena using the Supplier and the Epsilon. Now, unfortunately here, we did actually end up using our normal summon, so we can't normal summon the Quackymere Guardian here. But this could be alleviated if you had... Well, there's not really a way to alleviate it, because we already, like I said, used the normal summon for Beta the Electromagnet Warrior. So, if you're playing out the pure build, and you can do the combo line pretty much the same way as the previous, combo that I showed. If you open the, Linear Magnum plus minus, but again, you'll lose out on your actual normal summon, which means you can't use the Quackymere Guardian that you added. You could, however, still set up the Floodgate effect of Plasma Magnum, the Steel effect of Telursian, IP Masquerena, and you could still revive with Cross Sheep if you wanted to. Just wouldn't be necessarily as good since you're not reviving the Quackymere Guardian itself. So you might be wondering what Duoterion, a level 5 water dinosaur monster, is doing in our Magnet Warrior deck. Well, because it is also a link between two of the Bastion archetypes here, Bastion from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, of course, Magnet Bonding is actually a feasible search target. So if you open Duoterion, you can discard it in order to search Magnet Bonding, and Magnet Bonding is actually one card combo by itself. So if you open that, you can go for the Magnet Bonding. We're going to do the first effect here in order to add the plus-minus from our deck to our hand. Okay, now we can special summon our plus-minus. We're going to send Sigma Plus as well as Electromagnet Beta from our deck to the graveyard. And now we can activate the effect of the Sigma Plus in order to revive the Electromagnet Beta. Special summon yes. And then Beta's effect gets to activate here. We're going to add the Sigma Minus from our deck to our hand. We're going to activate the effect of Sigma Minus to fusion summon the Plasma Magnum. Now, we're going to use the Sigma Minus from hand as material, and this time, we're actually going to use the plus minus as a fusion material. Every other combo line so far, we've used Beta, but this time, it's going to be plus minus. You're going to see why here in a moment. Alright, we're going to fuse the two of these into Plasma Magnum. As always, want to make sure you're putting Plasma Magnum in either end or in the middle, so Cross Sheep can point to it. We're going to activate Plasma Magnum's effect. Now, we're not going to be adding Magnet Bonding because we already used the first effect of Magnet Bonding this turn. This time we're going to add the normal spell card Magnet Induction. And Magnet Induction lets us summon a level 4 lower Magnet Warrior from our deck, but we have to control a Magnet Warrior whose original level is 4 or lower. That's why we did not use the Electromagnet Beta as a material and instead fused with the plus minus. Okay, so now we can special summon Epsilon, the Magnet Warrior, from our deck. We're going to activate the effect of Epsilon. We're going to send Omega Plus from our deck to the graveyard. And we're going to special summon a monster. We're going to summon specifically the Sigma Minus. On summon, Sigma Minus effect gets to activate. We're going to dump the Telursian from our deck to the graveyard. And now we can make the Gallant Granite using the Epsilon as well as Sigma Minus. Now, normally here I would detach to add Quackymere Supplier, but I already have it in my hand anyway, so I'm just going to pretend like we just detached and added this Quackymere Supplier just now. Okay, now we can make the Cross Sheep using Gallant Granite and Electromagnet Beta. Summon Cross Sheep to a zone so that it's pointing to Plasma Magnum, and now we can activate the effect of Quackymere Supplier. We can summon a Cross Sheep zone, getting both effects. We're going to revive with Cross Sheep, and then we can add with Supplier. Of course, as always, the Quackymere Supplier is going to end up adding the Quackymere Guardian from deck to hand, and then Cross Sheep can revive any one of these monsters here, really. We'll just do this one, why not? Okay, and then we can go into IP Masquerena using our monsters here. Now, at this point, we do still have our regular normal summon. So you could normal summon Quackymere Guardian, but one really important thing to note with this combo line is that we actually do not guaranteed have a rock monster on hand. Because last time what we did is we would send Omega, or we would use Omega Plus to pop the plus minus, which would then add itself back. This time, we don't have that guaranteed rock monster. Now, I would normal summon Guardian with this hand here, because I have Nibiru, and that's a rock monster. I can just reveal that. However, again, if you didn't have that, you would lose out on your Quackimir Guardian, which is a potential drawback of the combo line. However, one thing you do potentially gain is actually the fact that the Omega Plus could be used in order to revive, or in order to revive, you could revive it off the cross sheet, and then use the Omega Plus's effect in conjunction with the Plasma Magnum, which treats all monsters as Earth, and then Omega Plus will turn any monster face down on the field when an Earth monster's effect is activated. Of course, you could do that in the regular combo line as well, by simply using this as a material for Gallant Granite. That way it doesn't get banished. However, in that combo line where you would always summon Quackimir Guardian, you'd want to revive this with Cross Sheep. So if you're not in a position where you could summon Quackimir Guardian, then you could definitely consider reviving the Omega Plus and turning a monster face down instead. Okay, so as I mentioned at the top of the video, there are a ton of different variants that you can do of Magnet Warrior. Again, the ability to put out so many bodies so easily leaves a lot of room on the table. But I wanted to shout out specifically the Fiendsmith variant because it is the easiest to integrate into an already existing pure Magnet Warrior build and combo line. And not only that, but in Master Duel with Moon of the Closed Heaven being legal, I think there's a real shot this is probably just the strongest variant of Magnet Warrior. So starting again with a combo line that begins with plus minus, we're going to special summon plus minus by sending Sigma Plus and Beta, the Electromagnet Warrior, from our deck to the graveyard. Alright, we're going to activate the effect of Sigma Plus, reviving Electromagnet Beta. And then we can activate the effect of Electromagnet Beta in order to add the Sigma Minus from deck to hand. Next, we're going to activate the effect of Sigma Minus, revealing it, and fusion summoning Plasma Magnum. We're going to use itself and the Electromagnet Beta as materials. Again, assuming as always you open with just your starter and no hand traps. Okay, now we're going to activate the effect of Plasma Magnum. We can use this in order to add the Magnet Bonding from our deck to our hand. Let's activate Magnet Bonding. And now we can add Epsilon the Magnet Warrior from our deck to our hand. Okay, we're going to go Plasma Magnum effect. We're going to dump Duoterion and extra normal summon Epsilon. Epsilon gets to activate. We can we can send the Omega Plus and special summon the Sigma Minus from our graveyard. Alright, now here I am going to show you the correct sequencing, unlike I was doing in the other combo lines. My bad. Should have had some on-screen blurbs about that or something in the pinned comments noting that. But anyway, you want to activate the effect of Omega Plus first, popping the plus minus, and then adding. That way you can use the Omega Plus as a material for Gallant Granite, and then it won't get banished. Probably won't come up, to be honest. It doesn't really matter the most having it in the graveyard, but it is worth noting. Okay, now here we're going to activate Gallant Granite Detach and add Quackimir Supplier from deck to hand. I already opened it here, so just pretend I detached from Gallant Granite in order to get it. And then from this stage we can go into Cross Sheep using Gallant Granite and then Sigma Minus as materials. And then now we can activate the effect of our Quackimir Supplier. We're going to summon to Cross Sheep's Other Zone. Now we can go Cross Sheep effect, as well as Quackimir Supplier effect. The Supplier, of course, is going to be adding the Quackimir Guardian from deck to hand. And the Cross Sheep will be special summoning, doesn't really matter which monster, honestly. Because we're just going to link off whatever we summon plus the Supplier into IP Masquerena. Okay, we still have our regular normal summon, so we can go for Quackimir Guardian. We also added back plus minus to reveal for it during the end phase of this line. We can also still revive the Duoterion by banishing Sigma Plus and Minus from our graveyard. Now, right about now, you're probably thinking, what gives? This is just the regular pure end board. I thought you were going to do Fiendsmith stuff. Well, we are. we're going to special summon Moon to the Closed Heaven. We're going to link Cross Sheep with the Plasma Magnum. We're going to send those away for Moon. Now we can go into Fiendsmith's Requiem using Moon. And then we can activate Fiendsmith's Requiem. We're going to tribute it. And then we're going to summon the Lacrima, the Crimson Tears. Lacrima, of course, is going to activate and then dump Engraver. Now we can activate Engraver. Gonna put back the Moon in order to revive. And now we can go into Fiendsmith Sequence using our 2 Fiendsmith monsters. From here, Sequence will activate. We're going to fusion summon for the Fiendsmith's Lacrima. We're going to put back Lacrima and Requiem in order to do so. Okay, now Fiendsmith's Lacrima gets to activate. We're going to revive Engraver. And then we can simply make the Caesar using our 2 level 6 monsters. So if you do it this way, it does kind of leave this sequence on the board, but I mean, you have IP Masquerena, so that's just a free target to go into SP or whatever else right there. But basically, with this line, you trade the potential of Cross Sheep's Revive maybe getting Guardian and that working out for you, and also the Plasma Magnum maybe being a Floodgate if your opponent's deck cares about attributes. You trade those speculative responses, or disruptions rather, for the Caesar's 2 summon negates, which I think is definitely going to be stronger. Not only that, but as you can see, we have all of the flexibility of the pure combo line inherent. If you opened a Fiendsmith card, you could lead with Caesar, and then just do the full pure combo line anyway. Or you could do it like I did here, and again, even if you have Sequence laying around, you can still use it with a material for IP. Or if you really want to play Desiree instead, you could. I really don't think Desiree is better than Caesar in like the vast majority of scenarios, but it is an option, and then you can obviously just equip Sequence from there. So like I said, Fiendsmith has just a ton of different things it can do as far as when you use it in the Magnet Warrior combo line. But even if we save it for the very end here, it's still giving us everything the pure combo line would, with the option to add multiple summon negates to our end board, which again, I personally think is really good. Okay, so right here at the end, I wanted to show off my deck list for pure Magnet Warrior. For my gameplay video, I think I'm probably going to try out Fiendsmith on ladder first, so we can cover that deck list and that version in a little bit more depth, you know, in that upcoming video. But here is my build for pure Magnet Warrior. So, as far as the ratios go and the reasonings for them, we're on 3 Electromagnet Beta, as well as 3 Duoterion, 3 Plus Minus, and 3 Magnet Bonding, 3 of each of those, because, of course, those are going to be your starters, right? I like having 2 Sigma Pluses, that way you always have one to send from the deck, even if you open a copy. Granted, this can send Magnet Warriors from the hand or field as well, but then if you open Sigma Plus, you can still send one from the deck to the graveyard, and then from there you can still, obviously, have one in hand to use as a material for like your fusion summon or an extra normal summon or whatever. Also, definitely worth considering playing multiple Sigma Minus. It's a card you like seeing in your hand because of the reveal fusion summon effect, and it's also not terrible to normal summon for its ability to dump the Tellersian. I kept throwing an R when I was pronouncing this earlier. Whoops, my bad. I always have a little bit of dyslexia with fantasy names, but anyway. So yeah, as far as the other 3 ofs in this deck, well, the other big 3 of is that we're playing 3 copies of Quackymere Guardian. Now, technically, you only need the 1, like Supplier, because it is searchable. However, I really like playing a full playset of 3 Quackymere Guardian, because, as we demonstrated from the combo lines, this deck does not need its regular normal summon at all. You can use your extra normal summon for the Plasma Magnum, and in a lot of scenarios, you just use your extra or your regular normal summon at the end of the combo line, right? Well, if you open Quackymere Guardian, you can begin your turn by normal summoning it, and now you have hand trap insurance for the entirety of your turn. Not only that, but opening, like, for example, Quackimira Guardian plus Linear Magnum plus minus is still really good. Because again, you normal summon Quackimira Guardian, have that insurance as you use your plus minus to combo off, and you can still add a second Guardian to your end board, because this card is not once per turn. So you can have 2 Quackimira Guardian, reveal the same plus minus for both of them during the end phase, and now you have an extra monster negate. So that's why I'm playing 3 Quackimira Guardian. The card is just fantastic for the reasons I mentioned. Now, the extra deck, I will say, is really, really wide open. There's a lot of stuff in here that's definitely kind of filler. Like, Giant Hand isn't needed at all. Frankly, Zeus and Typhon are not bad, but not needed at all. You definitely don't need Underworld Goddess and Gorgon of Xylophtonia, in addition to Little Knight. Although, if you are playing the Fiendsmith variant, it's always worth considering Goddess a little bit more for being a Light Fiend, but... another very optional card this extra deck is Flux Oschenfeld. I end up pulling an extra copy, so I decided to hang on to it, but this card is not even close to required for a Magnet Warrior. It is highly, highly optional. But yeah, just wanted to show off the pure build, like I said, kind of break it down a little bit, and give you an example of how this deck can combo kind of generically, right? That's what this video was all about, except for the Fiendsmith line at the end. Although, again, that's most because I think the Fiendsmith version is probably going to be the most played variant. I could be wrong about that, but... Now, as mentioned before, there are so many different things you could go into with the Magnet Warrior setup. You could, instead of Gallant Granite, make a different rank 4 that sets up plays. Like, you could go... King of the Feral Imps into Mitsurugi. You could go Banshee into Snake Eye. You could go Duo Drive into Ryziel stuff. You could go into... I had another one in my head lined up, and now I'm not remembering off the top of my head. But any rank 4, you know, you can pivot into some more plays there. Rank 7s, Auroradon stuff is on the table because you make 2 level 7s as part of your combo line if you really want to spit out even more bodies. But frankly, I kind of think this deck does a good enough job of spitting out bodies. But... yeah, I'm really excited to keep playing Magnet Warrior. I think this deck is going to be really sick in Master Duel, and I'm definitely eager to hear what you think of the deck in the comments below. For the time being, though, that's going to do it. This is Hexlex. I'm about to sign out. Before I do, let's go ahead and thank our YouTube members and Patreon subscribers for their support. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Thank you so very much for watching all the way to the very end of the video, which by the way is one of the best ways to support the channel. Speaking of supporting the channel, take a look at the names on screen. These are folks who have been so generous as to either join as a YouTube member or subscribe over on patreon.com/Hexlex to support. There's also perks for doing so. If you would like to see YouTube videos early, as well as some exclusive videos that get uploaded to YouTube, but for one reason or another I decide not to publish, definitely go ahead and hit that join button to see content early, as well as some exclusive content. If you're looking for more exclusive content, over on patreon.com, I upload exclusive videos that are not posted on YouTube just about every single day. Whether you choose to subscribe over on Patreon, join as a YouTube member, or simply continue to watch, your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. But for now, this is Hexlex. I am signing out, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.